All right. Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone doing this evening? I'll do a quick roll call. I've been saying hi to a bunch of people. Sorry, I was actually typing something just a second ago in my reminder. We got DB, Scott, Lynn Holtz, David Wilcott, Walcott, Mike High, Lake Ozark Guy, Pistol Pete, Dirt Track 410, Rich B, Milkman. How are y'all doing this evening? Just catching up on trying to type some work stuff in. Hello Floridian. I can't talk this evening. Also, make sure that I want to make sure y'all can hear me okay. I've got the AC going here beside me, and it might be a little loud. It looks like this computer was working perfectly a second ago. I can turn this AC off if y'all need me to, so just let me know if it's too loud. I don't know if this microphone's picking it up or not. Wow, 45 ammo for 14.99. Was that for brass? If so, that's cheap. Sounds okay. Okay, good. Because it's kind of loud in here, so that's why I didn't know if the mic was going to be picking it up. But because it was definitely a warm one today. I'm in Waco, and man, it is a humid, nasty, muggy this morning. I went outside and I was like, damn, I need to take another shower. What's up, reloading from the hot pot? How are you doing? But the title of this chat is "I'm enjoying it." If y'all know, I kicked off the cooking or the barbecue channel officially this past weekend and barbecued some stuff. It was good. Um, did some steaks and some other stuff, but it was a lot of fun. Got out there, sitting out there for a while. I was burning those pits out, so I was outside, man, probably like I don't know, 6 hours or so straight. I was having to sit in the shade, man, because I got direct sunlight where my pits and stuff are. Hello, Sugar Bar. How are you? Have any of those nasty storms? Yes, we did. Rich B, we got them really bad. I had baseball size hail. Actually have video of it for insurance purposes. I was videoing it, and we had like golf ball, and then we had baseball. I did get some dents in my truck, no broken glass. And man, the next day, I mean, I started getting calls. I don't even know how they got our telephone number. Well, I probably do from the tax association because all that stuff's public record. So they probably sold them all our stuff. But I started getting text from roofing companies, calls, knocking on the door. I mean, it was like, holy crap! Now I'm out of town. So my wife was like, man, the dogs have been freaking out because all the roofing people are coming through. But it I mean, it was pretty bad, and it was like not just some hailstorms come through and it's like 2 or 3 minutes. This was literally, and I'm not being sarcastic, it was probably a good 15 minutes straight of hail, and I'm like, and of course with rain, but I'm just like, man, it sounded like somebody was up on the roof with hammers just beating the shit out of the hammer. Uh, Floridian, how long did you cook for that spread the other day? Cooking steaks doesn't take that long. It was burning out all the pits and everything. I mean, I was out there, like I said, probably 6 or 7 hours throughout the day. I started like at 8:30 that morning. I was doing some filming too, but just filming like different things, building the chimney fires and doing stuff like that. Because a lot of people were curious from the questions I've been asked in the past. I just went through my little booklet and was, that things people had asked me about cooking, so or barbecuing or whatever, grilling, whatever you want to call it. Hello, IBG. Chris from the 740s in the house. He has his chat after mine. We got Bald and Furious in the house. Yep, IBG's calling him that too. Hello, Abigail. How are you? But how many people are those steaks? None of my business, but how many people are those steaks? No, it's no big deal, Rich. To be honest with you, those 5 fillets were for. I mean, I didn't eat them all that day, of course, but there was only two of us, my wife and I. So we cooked, I guess it was 4 or 5 potatoes, just so we would have them, or she would have them for the next day, and did those 5 big fillets. And I ate about a fillet and a half. And y'all haven't seen my wife, but she is 5'9.5", weighs 120 pounds, and she can out eat any person here. I promise you. Uh, she has a metabolism that's unbelievable. She will eat, and then 2 hours later, she's hungry again. So probably from her modeling time, but I call her my truck driver because that's what she eats like. But and then she made a fresh corn salad. It's called a cold corn salad. What you do is you take fresh ears of corn and you boil it. Then you take a big bowl with ice and water in it, and right after you boil it, you take the hot corn out and flash whatever you call it, flash cold it. You just drop the hot boiling corn, each individual corn in the hot or the cold water with the ice in it, and it kind of flash freezes it or fat flash, whatever you call it. And it's fresh corn. And then she did grape tomatoes, feta, celery, and a dressing that she makes, and it's like a fresh corn salad. It was awesome. There, you can see a picture of it. I posted that also. But yeah, it was really, really good. So, Milkman saying, do you keep your extra mags loaded? Yes. Otherwise, they're just plastic paperweights. So I do keep them loaded. Never had an issue with any of my mags, whether it be pistol, ARs, 300 Blackout 308, whatever. Keep them loaded. I have no spring issues. The spring doesn't matter if it's compressed. It's when you're using it and it's compressing and going back and forth. That's when you wear out a spring. I've had mags loaded for 10 years, and I'll rotate them, and then I'll shoot the ones on the top, and never had an issue with them. All of them work. So, yep, keep them loaded. Hello, Fina. How are you? Hello, Pandadrome. How are you? What? No, did not know that. Shock. That's what it's called, Pistol Pete. Sorry. Your wife gave a good review. Yeah, she really liked it. And it's nothing personal. A lot of people are like, hey, I want to see your wife. Really, 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 really close friends like, Humble and Harry and all that. They know my wife. They've met her and all that. I just try to keep, my kids and my wife and all of that. I just kind of keep it private because I've been places with her and I've been recognized. Um, Not that anything's wrong with that. It's just, like I said, I try to keep all that stuff private. So it's nothing, against y'all or any of that. But I've had a lot of people say, hey, put your wife in videos and stuff like that. But I just, it's just a choice I make. So trust me, she's not ugly. I'm the ugly one. Thinking of a Prodigy 4.25. What can those who have one tell me about it? Um, I mean, I've talked about them before. I don't have one. I know people who do. And if you're looking at like an entry level, I think they fixed some of the issues they had in the past. So if that's what you want, that's what you can afford. By all means, if that's what you want, get one. Um, I mean, they have a warranty. If something happens, you could get it fixed. Um, you know, there are a lot of MIM parts in there, like I've talked about before. But like I said, if you're planning on shooting, 5 to 6, to 5 to 6 to 7,000 rounds out of it, I would prefer to get a tooled steel, like a Staccato or an MPA or something like that for longevity purposes. But if that's what you want and that's what you can afford, get it. Well, I'm going back to the comment. Well, he just said the exact same thing I said. Yep. Let's see here. Vital Impact All-in-One Cleaning Kit or Otis Elite Premium Cleaning Kit. Man, I don't think you need 15 things to clean a gun. Honestly, I've never really been that way. I mean, you can use CLP for everything. You can use, I have the Rand CLP, I believe, and I'll use that to clean some things. And then I use, oh crap, what is that gun oil? I have used a brand that I used to advertise for back in the day, but I did have some problems with it. I would shoot a lot. I mean, like rapid shots or really going with an AR, and it would burn off too quickly. So I don't recommend that anymore. I know some people still talk about it and things. I'm not trying to bash anybody, but I don't mess with that anymore personally. So, but I'll clean it with like a Rand CLP, and then I do use the little crap. What is the brand of that shit? It's the blue lube, and I will lube with that. And I do prefer the needle valves because you can get into the springs, for your safeties, your flip up safeties and things. You can get at behind there. So I do prefer the needle valves or the needle things to lube with. Does Staccato sell parts kits? No, but EGW does. So I've never seen a Staccato parts kit. I mean, let me rephrase that. You can buy springs and stuff from uh, Dawson Precision for Staccatos as far as springs, but your ignition kit and stuff like that, that would come from EGW. Yeah, I haven't seen a DWX in a store yet. I really haven't. I've kind of glanced around and haven't seen one just laying there in a store yet. Relearn from the I respect your privacy, Big J. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Bald has seen my wife. I can attest that Big Johnson, Guns and Gear, married up, way up. Yeah, she's she's a looker. Always has been. Yeah, Bull Armory is about the same price, but again, Bull Armory does have MIM parts also. Not every single thing in it is, but they do have some MIM parts. But they're great guns. I mean, Bull Armory makes some good stuff. I don't blame Big Johnson Guns and Gear that he doesn't want to show her on video one bit. Yeah. Rich B, I am seeing all the people carrying the Staccato P appendix. I just can't seem to do it, but I want to, so not giving up. I just have not found the holster to make it happen. Recommendations. I do carry my P. Also, I carry the P with the Threat Cadre comp, so it's actually equal to a Staccato XL. I don't carry the P a whole bunch, but I have carried it many times. Honestly, it is really, really hard to beat a Tenacore, and I do carry with a light also with the X300. You really can't beat a Tenacore. They have the Sols, I think it's called the Solus or something, with the 300 X300, and then they have it without a light if that's what you prefer. Those holsters are pretty damn great holsters for Staccato. So that's probably my favorite on the Staccato, and it's one I've shown in videos numerous times. I've got the 4 inch and I've got the 5 inch. I'm pretty dominantly carrying the 5 inch with everything because my C2 has a comp, my P has a comp, but my P is 5.3 inches long. So the comp does stick out a little bit on the end, but it doesn't bother me. But, it is going to be differing between your body type and what you prefer. So don't just say, you've got to do that. We're getting you out of here. I just launched him. I'm not tolerating that crap. I don't do that shit. So yes, Pistol Pete, it's Lucas. Lucas Extreme, I think is what it is. Yep, it's good stuff. I mean, I've been using it for a long time. Haven't had any problems with it. What's up, Threat Cadre? Yeah, if y'all haven't watched, Threat Cadre released a video tonight of his top, 5 staccatos in order, and his recommendations, and I agreed with every single one of them. So he did a real good, video talking about that, and I know he's carried all of them too, and has a shitload way more experience than I do with them. He's got a ton of rounds for those things. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with, if the P is too big for you or any of that, or carrying your C. There's nothing wrong. Carry what works for you. I'm not saying you got to carry an XC or a P or any of that. It's whatever works for you. Yes, David, here's the thing. Back in the old YouTube days, I used to just be able to add wrenches to everybody right here, and they won't let us do it anymore. So now you have to go into a whole different thing, and you can't do it while you're on your video. I mean, it's a pain in the ass to add wrenches, but I will sit down and add wrenches to people. I promise I will. Hello, Threat Cadre. I'm hearing with replacing the mem parts, you can still be under the Staccato by $1,000 just trying to get something a little less expensive. Been spending too much money. I understand, IBG. I have not, from what I heard, and you'll have to. Oh gosh, what is his name? There's been videos. God, I can't remember that guy's name. He's bought staccatos and changed the EGW systems in it. He said it's actually about the price of a staccato. It's 10.4 or whatever performance, or 10.8 performance. That's it, 10.8 performance. He's actually done it and changed them all out, and he's actually built 2011s and stuff like that. So I would I would check, maybe watch his video again and look at the price on it. But from what I understand, it's pretty equal to it. But hello Norwood, how are you? Oh, and I've sent some of my buddies some pictures this morning. I stopped and got a couple of bottles of water, and there's a new water out called C, like Charlie, C Force, and I was like, what the hell is that? And it's Chuck Norris water. So Chuck Norris has his own water called C Force, and I was like, yeah. The only reason that bottle's holding is because Chuck said that bottle could hold it. Hello, DC. How are you? Oh, do we have another one in here? I thought I launched him. Yeah, I launched James. Just like I said, I'm not messing with that stuff. Like the 210 carry and dry land, the DW is a myth. Yeah. The Folden Smith and Wesson? Is that little PDW, that rifle or PCC thing? A TS2 orange? There you go. Pranic, that's funny that you said that. The TSO, I mean, it's a great, great firearm. It really is. But I just never shot mine. I mean, after a while, I loved that gun. I shot it a lot. Had Fire for Effect trick it out for me and put the optic plate and everything, or the optic, that comes up from the side. And really love that gun and everything. But when I started getting to staccatos and other 2011s and things like that, I really kind of didn't need it, so I sold it, and I don't regret it. I mean, it's a fantastic gun, but it only kind of served one purpose. You couldn't hang a light on it. It was just kind of a competition gun or a range toy, and I was just like, I'm going to let somebody else enjoy this gun, so I sold it. I agree, Abigail. They come out of the woodwork. Yeah, Ballistol is good. I mean, I have Ballistol. I love the smell of it. Ballistol's good stuff. And Ballistol really works great on knives. I actually use it on barbecue knives too. My Ballistol. I've got a big jug of Ballistol, and I use it on knives. I also use it on leather because some of Hiltonium. That's it. Because some of my barbecue knives, I've got like the little leather where you wrap up your knives, and then I've got those little sheaths that go in it. So I'll oil them and then put them in there, and I do wipe that off, of course, before I cut the meat. But yes, he does. Cadre does run a lot of Tennecore holsters as well. Yeah, they're good. They're good. They're great holsters. I mean, you can't knock them. And I love Harry's holsters, but he doesn't have them for the Staccato yet. Yet. Hello, Matt Moore. How are you doing? Yeah, A-Dubs. Skip's Guns does actually take them, and he puts all the EGW kits in it and all of that stuff. So hell, you could probably email him. I think he said it was about the same also. Yeah, roundhouse kicks to your thirst. And if you're old like me, you remember Chuck Norris used to sell jeans, and right here in the crotch, it was like elastic, only in the crotch area where you could do your roundhouse kicks. But it was Chuck Norris jeans. I'm not making this up. He actually sold that shit. And what was crazy is Chuck Norris's grandkids actually went to my daughter's school. She went to a private school, and his grandkids went there. So I've met him numerous times. Super nice guy. But you know what's funny is like on TV and stuff, when you saw him, you thought he was kind of tall. He is like this tall. I mean, he's a really short guy, but I know even at his age, he'd probably whip everybody's ass. But I just expected him to be bigger until I actually saw him in person. And back in the day, when he was on Texas Walker Ranger, we used to do all of their trucks. Um, and there was that other guy, that blonde guy that was on that show, and there was a girl on that show. But they used to bring all their vehicles into the dealership, and we used to set them up to where they could flip a switch, turn the ABS off, so they could slide around corners because they couldn't get away with that with the ABS on the rear of those Dodges, the Dodge trucks they ran. So we would unhook a bunch of stuff, and the movie people and all that shit would sell us or would buy, would pay for all of it. But yeah, we used to meet all of them. But I never met Chuck. He never brought vehicles in, but the blonde guy did, and some of the other, I guess, stunt people and stuff like that, and the producers. They used to bring a lot of their vehicles in back in the day. The Sub 2K knockoff. I don't know what that is. Gun butter. Yeah, I got a little bottle of it, but I haven't really used it a lot. But I've heard that it's really, really good. So it is. I will be trying it out. Yeah, Rock Chalk, you can get some really good deals on some P10s. DB is in South Florida. Let me catch back up here. What do you think of a weapon, AK-47? AK-47s definitely do the trick with what you want to use them for. Um, I personally prefer ARs over AKs just because I'm used to the manipulation and the setup of the rifle. But there's nothing wrong with an AK-47 if that's what you like. And also, I'm not a fan of them personally because I have really long gorilla arms and I can't C clamp them. And if I wrap over the top, of course, I burn the shit out of my thumb because of the barrel. And usually the wood on the front, it doesn't work real well for me. So if I have a full rail, then it's good to go. But yeah, AK-47s. I mean, 7.62 by 39 is not a joke. I prefer 300 blackout just because you have more of a selection, 110 and up. But it's whatever you prefer. Yeah, Chuck Norris doesn't need to buy water. He can make a thunderstorm happen. He tells God when to make it rain. Lone Wolf McQuaid jeans. I don't remember those. Maybe that was it. Ooh. Who wins in a karate match? Chuck Norris from Enter the Dragon versus John Claude Van Damme from Time Cop. Man, I've taken Chuck. I'm taking Chuck. Got to take Chuck. Van Damme wasn't a joke, but I definitely would take Chuck. Drowning Freedom. Yeah. Yes, IBG, I have heard that something is coming. I don't know exactly what it is, but I have heard something's coming. I know that they're coming with a P10 tactical, so it comes with a threaded barrel and suppressor sights and optic cuts and all this other stuff, but that's not what I think is new. And who knows? I mean, whenever it comes out, we'll know that it's out. But oh, and I had a question, and I'll just, if anybody wants to know, uh, because I had like 3 or 4 people ask me this. What do I clean my grills with? And I'll go over the product that I use. But if you've got a lot of buildup, don't use wire brushes, like the old school wire brushes for your grills. The little metal bristles do pop out. They can actually fall out of those brushes, and then they can get into your food. And if you swallow them, you will literally have to have emergency surgery to remove the little metal bristle. I personally haven't seen it happen, but I know that it has happened. Um, so don't use brushes on your grills, whether it be charcoal, gas, whatever it is. Just don't use wire bristles. They have scrub pads where there's no wire mesh in it, and they also have a woven one that will not bristle off. It's actually molded into the metal of the handle, so it won't come out. But you can actually take a wad of aluminum foil, just like if you're cooking a brisket, just wad up the aluminum foil and make a ball, and you can scrub the grate with it and knock off all the burn up protein. So you can use that. You can also use half an onion, just cut an onion in half and scrub your grill with an onion. The foil works for really hard stuff, and the onion works for the softer stuff. However, I've got a product that I use, and I'll go over it next time. And it's safe, it's not toxic, none of that stuff. So, if that helps. Traeger or Blackstone, totally different grills. Traeger is a pellet, Blackstone's a flat top. Depends on what you want to do with it. Me personally, and probably I'm not a big pellet fan, but I will say this: pellets are great for people that just want to set a temperature, like an oven. You just set your temperature, you throw it on there. You can program the time that you want it to stop. You can even run an app from your phone. You can leave it cooking in a pellet grill and go to work, and it'll show your temperature, and you can monitor it and change it from your phone. So if you want that kind of convenience, pellet grills are great. The only thing is you don't get as rich of a smoky taste out of it. I'm not saying you can't, but the difference between briquettes and wood chunks than those little wooden, pellets. It's kind of like sawdust, but they're great for convenience. I'm just not a super big fan of them myself. And also in the chamber where it feeds the pellets in, you can have an internal fire. And I have seen some of them pretty much roast themselves. If it's a cheaper pellet grill, not so much Traegers, but some of the cheaper ones, I've just seen them just burn themselves up, literally blow up with your brisket in there. So not blow up, but just short out and burn the whole grill up. So that can happen. So, and a Blackstone is just an iron griddle flat top. Blackstones are very popular. They have the smaller ones, so you can throw them on a tailgate and use the small propane tank. I mean, they work good for what they are. It's just whatever you want to cook. Also, I did have on the brand new kettle, brand spanking new. The first cook already had an issue, and I'll talk about that. And if you want to check out the barbecue stuff, it's Big J's Pit Stop. You can go over there and subscribe. and I'll be doing my personal fix on a brand new grill to make their shit work. Uh, and it's a small bitch, but for what you pay for it, they should have known better than this. But I'll fix it and show you how to fix it. Scar, and this is my opinion as well. I feel the Scar is kind of overrated. For the longest time, it had the reciprocating thing, and that broke. I mean, it would break your thumbs, and also if you had to shoot from a side angle, it was worthless. Um, and the AK can be, in some of those situations. But I would, I'm not a big, huge Scar fan, and I've shot tons of them. I've even owned a Scar AR-15, the not the 308 version Scar, or the other, the 223-556 Scar, and I didn't keep it very long. I wasn't super impressed with it, and I kind of like the UGG boot look. I mean, I don't think it's bad, but to each their own. I think you can get a much more accurate 308, and I own one, other than a Scar. Scars get the work done. Don't get me wrong; they will do work, but I don't think they're the most accurate 308 out there by any means. Hello, Brian. How are you? I just kind of like the look of the UGG boot. You can change that out. They have other stocks that you can put on them that do look a hell of a lot better and actually perform better. ES Frank, my thoughts on the Staccato CS. I have shot it. It is not a bad gun, okay, at all. It's a great gun. Um, my only complaint is it is a proprietary mag, which isn't bad. But if you want to buy like a C2, a P, or whatever later on down the road, the CS mags don't work. They're their own animal, which is not bad. There's a lot of guns that are like that. Um, it's just a little bit too small for me. The girth of it, I just prefer the C2 better. Um, when you carry the CS and you carry the C2, there's absolutely no difference. They'll fit in the same damn holster. Um, the CS is a little snappier. I'm not recoil sensitive, but I'm just trying to give you an opinion. The CS is a little snappier than even the C2 because it's lighter, but it's a great gun, but it kind of serves like a carry only role, where the C2, in my opinion, is a carry gun and it feels like a much bigger gun. So you could compete with it. You could use it as like a dual gun. Where the CS, I don't know if I would want to take it out and just do, I mean, you could do a class with it and stuff like that. It's just, I don't think it's, I think the C2 fits that better role for a do it all gun over the CS. That's just my opinion. And I have larger hands, but even people with smaller hands, I've let them shoot when I shot Threat Cadre CS. We let other people shoot it and then shoot the C2, and some still preferred the C2, and a couple of people like the CS, but I think it was also because it was such a new gun, and they were like, oh yeah, this is really cool. But like I said, they're both great guns, whatever you choose. David, I have not. I used to have family that canned all their own food, but I personally haven't. I think it's a great idea, though. I've bought canned food before, like that somebody else already canned, like pickles and all these different things. What's the scoop on the Big Green Egg Grill? We have a grill and fireplace store that advertises the hell out of the green egg. The green egg is, I mean, it's called a Komodo style. It's a ceramic grill. They're super heavy. I mean, if you bump it or if it ever fell over, it's going to crack and then you're screwed. Um, they do hold a lot of heat and they can hold it forever. You don't use as much charcoal. You use the green egg lump charcoal. You don't lose as much charcoal because it contains all the heat. So you don't go through a ton of charcoal. Um, I mean, you can control it just like a kettle, Weber kettle. You know, the top vent, lower vent. I mean, they're great for what they are. They're not bad. I mean, we have family members who own them. I've cooked on them before. I mean, they cook great. It's just, you're going to spend a ton of money on them. I mean, you can buy them used, and then you could put new grates in them, new gasket seal. But when you put the top on it, you know how the little hinge works. Some of them have a problem with lining up correctly, and they have bands where you have to do all these adjustments to try to get them perfect. But they still can have an overbite where it kind of, is this way or this way. They have some faults, just like other items, but I mean, they definitely work. And I have friends who just love them. They just love them. Sure. Best cowboy boot for working. Wow. Depends on if you have to have a steel toe or no steel toe. I'm not a huge steel toe fan, but I've worn them before. If you want something for on your feet extended all the time, like you're just walking a lot, crepe soles are really nice. Um, there's Justin. I mean, there's Ella, or Bean. There's so many good boot brands. It just depends on how much money you want to spend, and if you're wanting only a work boot, or you want like a cowboy boot with a comfortable sole. I prefer leather soles personally versus rubber. Not a big rubber fan because that way you can always get them, changed out. If y'all have seen any of my posts, I've had boots that I've put 4 and 5 resoles done on them. They last forever, but you got to get a good quality boot from the get-go to be able to do that. I'm not an Ariat fan at all. I'm not knocking them if that's what you like, but I'm really not an Ariat fan. And Lou Casey, I love Lou Casey, but I can't wear them because they have a high arch. Just a fence. Hey there, Big Johnson, right up the road from you a piece. Oh, you mean you live in Waco or Georgetown or wherever? I'm in Waco tonight. Yeah, the tactical DWX, I have heard that. Pumpkin spice latte. Yeah, no, I know, Brian. It's thinner at the top, but it's the same, it's the same width at the top. It's just thinner at the bottom. That's what's kind of weird about it. Some of the Jackal, Scar. Yeah, I mean, some of the PSA stuff seems like it's working out pretty well, but you know, Big J, have you checked out the Ruger's SFAR? I've never owned anything Ruger, just not my personal take as a brand, but I like the idea of a light and affordable 308. This gentleman right here, Matt Moore, Trigger Bar Philosopher, owns one, and he's got videos on his. He's had some hiccups with it, but they are, very light. I've got a light 308 myself, but it's a POF. Um, I mean, if that's what you're looking for and it functions correctly, I mean, by all means, get it. I don't need a heavy gun or a heavy 308. A lot of people think it's just really brutal to shoot a 308, but I don't think it is at all. But I mean, I'm a bigger guy, and I'm not recoil sensitive, and the boom doesn't bother me. You can always suppress them too, but it's really whatever you want. Let's see here. Yeah, we're looking to a DWX compact, but not until pick rail and optics cut. Wish it just had RMR direct, but probably plate system. That they won't have enough plates in stock. Probably not, or they'll have somebody else making plates. Chef Boyardee cans my food. There you go. Come on. David saying, how long do you guys let CLP sit in the barrel before cleaning? I usually wait for at least 5 minutes. David, I actually sometimes don't even spray CLP down the barrel. on pistols, I will just bore snake them to knock them out. Um, because it's going to soak in, but of course you're going to burn it out when you shoot it anyway. But sometimes if I do it, I'm just spraying it more so on the ramp. So I'll just spray it, and some little bit might go down there. But I don't really soak the barrels or do any of that kind of stuff. And I damn sure don't pull patches anymore. I used to do that when I first started in guns because I thought it was mandatory, but it's not. So, Red Wings. Yes, I used to wear Red Wings back in the day, a long, long time ago. Their quality was awesome, more so back in the day. From what I understand, the guys who wear them now, they're not as good as they used to be. I don't know that for a fact, but these guys wear them like we're wearing them every day, and they got away from the Red Wings. Some of them, not all of them. Ariats are pretty comfortable, yeah. David is saying max for the boots is $500 to $600. Yeah, you can get very good boots for $500 to $600. So I mean, there's so many brands out there. I say go like to a really good boot store and try on multiple brands, see what fits you the best, what is the most comfortable to you, because that's going to vary between people's foot, their way their foot's built, the way they stand. I mean, boot stores will let you walk around in their shop and stuff like that. I do have a boot maker that I use. He's made custom boots for me before, and he does make custom boots, but they are not cheap. They're way over that amount, but if you ever, it's Louisville Boots, so it's Lewisville. That's the name of the town. Boots, custom made boots and shoe repair. Um, Telephone number, if anybody wants it, is 972-420-4147. Again, 972-420-4147. He will give you any skin you want. He will give you any sole you want. He measures your footbed, traces it out, makes you custom boots. He is the guy that used to make the pockets in the sides for me inside of my boot to carry a small 380 in there. He is the guy who made those for me. Multiple pairs of boots to carry a small 380 in my boot. And he was the guy who made them. The boots are not cheap, I will tell you that, but they are very, very high quality. And if you need any boots or shoes redone, he is your guy. Matter of fact, I'm wearing a pair right now that he has resold, and you can see the pictures that I've posted in the he is a one shop. I mean, it's his shop and his family. He has his sons and stuff that work with him. He does excellent work. He will put your custom engraving, your name, your logo, whatever you want in the top of your boot shank. Um, he will tool the leather for you, whatever you want, he'll do it. So I just like him. That's why I advertise for him. He doesn't give me anything free, none of that stuff. And I like to support, local companies in the DFW area. So, oh, DFW up 287. Okay, yeah, I know exactly where you are. Taylor Brown says, love watching your other channel. I've been getting into grilling using charcoal, and you've been very helpful. Please don't stop. More love to see grill reviews, especially that new Weber you got. Super sick. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it, Taylor. Yeah, the Weber, I mean, for a great grill, budget type grill, I mean, it's really hard to beat. I remember, I mean, I've done brisket. You're going to see me. I'm going to try to keep it simple, but I'm going to do briskets. I'm going to do ribs. I'm going to do pancetta. I'm going to do pork butts. I mean, I'm going to do everything on a Weber that I used to do on my offsets. Um, I mean, you can do the exact same thing on a Weber. And you can do the same thing on a green egg and stuff like that. But I'm just trying to keep it easy, which most people can't afford green eggs. Um, so that's why I decided to get this and do it that way. But I'm glad you're enjoying it, Taylor. Thank you so much. Brian says if you have a heavy round count with a pistol, you need to use carbon remover every 1,000 rounds or so. I've got heavy round counts in my pistol, and they're super accurate, and I've never done that. I just don't. I'm not saying you have to do. Please do what you want to do, but I don't mess with it. And all those pistols can way outshoot me still to this day. Quality has dropped on Red Wings a bit, but I'm a mechanic and I have comfortable use steel toe anti-slip boots. Yeah. No, I get it, Pranic. I totally get it. Let me catch back up here. Yeah, Floridian, I have to. I was going to go and talk to him, but I still have meat. I've got to pick up some ribs and some other stuff. So I will go in and talk to him first and just see if he wants to do something like that. He might be like, we don't want to do videos or whatever. I just haven't talked to him about that. So I want to talk to him first. He could be completely open to it. And if he is, trust me, I'll go back there and shoot a video of him chopping up stuff, whatever whatever he'll let me see. He's a really cool guy. And if he's like, hey, yeah, throw my information out there, I'll be glad to. And I've been using him for a long, long time. Thanks, Just Defense. I appreciate it, man. Take care. Hard to afford white eggs these days. Yeah, it is. Big J, I need a video of you digging a big ass hole in your backyard and out smoking a whole pig. I'm talking apple in the mouth on a rotisserie. Do that, and you got me as a sub. I thought I already had you as a sub, Matt. That's pretty funny. I do. I made what's called a smoke box. I actually made it myself. Welded it out of, or TIG welded it out of angle iron, or not angle iron, square tubing, and it's tin. So basically, the way that it works is you build a fire, and it's not a heavy item. It's just a frame, and you use regular tin like you put on a tin building, and it just has a lift up top, and it has a back that opens on it, and you build a fire on the ground. So you just build a big fire, and you take the tin box and you lift it up and you set it right on top of it, and it will fit a pig. The whole thing would fit a pig, and you lift up the back of it, and I did a little chain, so you lift it up, and you can just put coals, add coals under it, and it's just a firebox. So the heat rises and cooks the top. It only had one rack, but it was huge. I mean, I've cooked like 40 beer can chickens on it at one time. I used to use it for like church cooks and things like that. And anyway, um, it was out back at my parents' house and all that stuff because it's so big. I just left it over there. They have like an acre and a half, and that's where also all the wood was because I would make the wood or make the charcoal out of the wood. We have oak, mesquite, and pecan. Those are my favorite woods. And anyway, so I was over there, hell, like 2.5 weeks ago, and I went around the back of the shed and I go, "Where's my firebox or where's my smoke box?" My dad goes, "Oh, the guy who did the yard and mowed all the yard and stuff, I gave it to them." So I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "But some of the tin on it was getting messed up, and I can change the tin. I just riveted on there with a rivet gun." And my dad gave my freaking smoke box away. So now I'd have to buy another or build another one because I've never seen one that you could just go buy, and it's super cheap to make. Oh, okay. Yeah, portable grill from Buc-ee's. Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, Buc-ee's is an awesome place. It's one of my favorite convenient. It is my favorite convenience store. Yeah, and that's what I've seen people do. Like boot reviews and stuff like that, and these are the best boots and stuff. But you got to remember, everybody's foot is different. Everybody's body type is different. Your gait, the way you walk, it's called a gait. That's different. So boots are going to be very particular to each person. The riding heel, so you can have a riding heel, a walking heel. There's so many different things. So you really need to try on multiple different kind of boots and see what works best for you. That's what I would recommend. Yeah, Taylor, you hadn't seen anything yet. It's going to get pretty fun when y'all see some of the stuff that I spritz with and that I marinate with. You'll be like, "What in the hell are you? What's that crap that you're making?" Or you're going to say, "Man, that's going to taste weird as shit." But I mean, if y'all could taste it, you'd be like, "Holy crap, that is good." Yes, there is, David. Pig, like farm raised pigs. Um, it's pork. It just tastes different. But a lot of like wild hogs that you shoot, some of them can taste very gamey. And you've got to remember, whatever the pig on the farm is eating, like grain and bread and whatever, sometimes you can get a little better meat. Hogs will eat like shit, literally. They'll eat crap out of the rivers. I mean, they'll eat garbage. They're gonna eat whatever they can find. And some of that meat tastes kind of gamey. And even I've shot them, so after you shoot them and you walk up to them, when you open them up or they're opened up, there is on some of them. I'm not saying all of them. On some of them, there is a god awful stench. I mean, it's like, whoa, what has he been eating? Sewage? I mean, some of them it's really really bad when you smell them. Now I went to Florida. This was a long time ago, and did a hunt there. And these hogs were in a orange field, so they were when the oranges would drop, the workers would try to pick them up, but they couldn't pick them up fast enough before the hogs would get them. So all these hogs were eating oranges. I mean, they were just so when you ate that meat, it was pretty incredible. So, they are what they eat. Rich B, that is a whole rabbit hole you can go down when you start looking at long range stuff. I mean, people will tell you 6.5, people will tell you 6 arc. I mean, there's so many variables there. I would say get what you feel comfortable with. Also, how often are you going to be going like to 1,000 yards? Do you need 1,000 yard gun? Are you going to keep it within 4 to 600 yards? There's a lot of variables there to really honestly, truly, truly, truly ask yourself. Are you going to take it and go shoot 1,000 yards one day, one time? Those are some things to really ask yourself and then decide what you want. So that's the way I would look at it. I mean, hell, you can shoot pretty far with a 5.56 223. So if that's far enough for you, it's cheaper on ammo than 308 or 6.5. So, you know, it doesn't have to be a 6.5 or a 308 or a 6 arc. It doesn't have to be a boutique type round. Just whatever you feel comfortable with. And hell, if you've already got a 223 and a 5.56, get your basics down. I'm not a professional long distance shooter. Honestly, I kind of suck. I've had good people who do that, show me things to do and tips to do and spot me and things like that. I'm not that great at long distance, never claimed to be. Yeah, there you go. He's saying it. Yep, those hogs we got in Texas taste awful. Yeah, some of them do taste like crap. You're just like, ooh, these are nasty. And a lot of them, we don't just like we've not just now. Sometimes you can't find some of them if you don't get a clean hit and they run off. They'll run off in the woods, and you're not gonna go try to chase them down. But we do look for them, when we've shot them. But we will, donate them and things like that. And a lot of people will eat them. They'll eat them even if they taste like dog shit. Liver meat, I am not a fan of liver. Nope, I hated it when I was a kid, and I will not eat it now. I don't like chicken gizzards, chicken liver, calf liver. I just don't do organs. That's not me. Yeah, I have heard that too. Some of the Alaskan people have told me that when they eat the berries, it's really, meat. I've only had bear meat like twice in my whole life. It's just not prevalent here, but I have had it. But it was at a restaurant. I have not IBG. I have seen them videos of the Phoenix Trinity X, and they do look really really nice. But I have not shot one or seen one in person. Longest I've shot was 110 yards with a 100 millimeter. Couldn't squint my eyes for longer ranges. Yeah, the farthest I've ever shot was 1,250 yards. That was with a 338 Lapua. I've got it on video. I was out with a buddy of mine. It was his gun. It was an AI 338 Lapua with the scope and the gun. This thing was like 15 grand for this setup. Uh, that's why it wasn't my gun, but that's the farthest I've ever shot. And prior to that, the farthest I'd ever shot was only like 600 and something yards. I think 650 yards. So bear fat makes good frying oil. I bet it does. I have seen people go to 1,000 yards with 223 5.56. I don't in the wind. It's going to be pretty. It's going to be pretty. It can throw it all over the place, but I've seen people do it on videos. I think X Ring has done it too. But you can get out there. I mean, I've shot 600 yards with a 223 5.56. I've shot. I think it was farther than 600 yards, but it was a decent sized target. It wasn't like a little tiny target, but I mean, shoot what you got, get used to it, and then that's just gonna help you decide of what you really want to get. Uh, Lee is saying thanks, Big J, and everyone for always having a great time. Sure, man, I appreciate y'all being on here. Y'all make this happen. Also, just so you know, I kind of wanted to announce this before I forgot. Let's see here. The 28th, so that's June the 28th on that Wednesday. I'm actually going to be at a sales conference. So I probably will not have a chat that night. That's, the 28th, I believe is what I said on that Wednesday. I probably won't have a chat, but if I can, I will. But I'm going to be in a different time zone. So that could throw it off. And then also we've got dinner meetings and stuff like that. So that could throw it off. So I just don't want to commit, but I'll post on the community tab, hey, we are having a chat or we're not having a chat. So I'll keep y'all in the loop, but I just, wanted to, just in case something happens, I don't want y'all to be like, oh my gosh, what happens? It's the first one he's ever missed. Yes. This is one thing I will say. Yeah, on the 223 5.56, you need to at least shoot 77 grain because if you're shooting 55 grain, yeah, good luck. It's not going to happen. If you want to stretch it out there, definitely shoot 77 grain. I'm sorry, I meant to say that. Thanks, Lynn. I'm glad you said that. But yeah, you will need to shoot some 77 grain. Thanks, Lake Ozark guy. I appreciate you so much. Organ meat, I'm sure it's great. I just can't get into it. It's just, I don't know. It's just weird. So, like I said, I'm sure if you like it, eat it. Tiger meat. I've never had tiger meat. Oh, okay. It's Little Red Dye Bar in South Korea. Okay, where frequently pheasant hunting serves tiger meat. It's raw hamburger meat and some other stuff you put on crackers. I don't ask. And it's okay with cold beer. Hell, anything's okay with cold beer. Hello, Red Menace. Yeah, I've seen people shoot, 223 5.56 pretty damn far. We were the day that I shot that distance of 1250 with that 338. There was a guy out there, and he was easily, and it was pretty windy, but he was shooting. The guy that was with us, his name was Johnny, and he was shooting his 5.56 223 like 600 yards with 77 grain, and it was just like bing, 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 bing. So, you ever heard of mountain lion meat? Uh, I mean, I'm sure, I mean, I haven't personally, but I know mountain lions, they do kill them. I'm sure people eat it, but I've never personally eaten it myself. I don't even know of any place that's had it. I've had some weird meat. I've had rattlesnake. I've had ostrich. Um, of course, shark and stuff like that. A lot of people have had that. Um, bison, buffalo. Trying to think of, I've had gator many times. I'm trying to think of something really, really weird, but never had IBG. I am drinking water. This is water. That's it. Don't have any alcohol, and I should have. I mean, I could bring it on the road. I guess I should do that. Rich B, thanks, Big J, and all the people in the chat. You have helped me with so much answering all my questions. Hey, that's what we're here for. This is a group effort. It's not a single person. Uh, yeah, Alex, we're just, we're not, hell, JB gave them all away. Lion meat tacos. I've never heard of lion meat. I mean, I'm wondering if they're calling it that, but it's actually something else, you know, or maybe it is lion meat. Oh, I did have shark fin stew one time. That was kind of weird. Yeah, I saw that. Blinkster 22 hit a 22 LR at a Coke can at 700 yards. Yeah, that's crazy. You definitely have to know where the hell the wind's coming for that. I bet he lobbed that sucker in there. But it is 8:01. Chris is going to have his chat, so I don't want to step on his toes. But if y'all, have any questions or comments or anything else you want to see, I do have another optic coming in. I'll be reviewing that. I don't know if you saw where I did the torture test on that Cat Pro. I thought it was kind of entertaining. A lot of people really liked it. I didn't think it, well, y'all can watch it and see if you haven't seen it yet. But anyway, I do have another optic coming in. I'll be testing it out too. But you know, we'll get to that. And I need to catch up on some reviews. I'm sorry with the work; it's just been really, really busy. So I appreciate all y'all. But now that I already have my long range rifle, I didn't know I had. I can go buy a Weber grill. Yeah, I mean a new grill. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you've got a 223-556, just go shoot it. Put a longer range scope on it. Go shoot it. Have fun. But I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have a great night. Love your family. Tell them you love them. You never know what could happen, so always be prepared on that. And y'all be safe out there. And remember, an unarmed nation's a very weak nation, so we all got to carry on. Thanks, everyone. Y'all take care.